Hello, everybody. Cinephile Mike is here, and it is day 42 of Award Season Review, Season 3. 97 reviews coming at you in 97 days, looking at the many films that are going for awards recognition this season. Now, some of the films I'm reviewing may still be in theaters or awaiting a re release, or like today's film, awaiting its wide release. All statistical information I am providing to you is current within 7 days of recording and posting. That information includes critical response, box office information, nominations, wins, my predictions, and as always, these reviews will be spoiler free. Also, make sure you check out my website, cinephilemike.com, for the informative Where Can I Watch This Spreadsheet 2024 edition, where you can track all the nominations and the wins for the films that I'm talking about here, all the others, and most importantly, just see how to watch them. So, we are wrapping up our sixth theme week today, and that is the Golden Globes. Mostly. And how did you feel about last night's Golden Globe Awards, huh? Some surprises, some well deserved wins, some snubs. I mean, a few films that I'm needing to really get to now based on how those awards went. And look, I'm happy to be wrapping up this theme week with a powerful film from 2024 that I literally caught at the tail end of the year. Now, again, while I haven't covered every film that was nominated for a Golden Globe, we are going to be moving through as many of them as possible. But today, I am talking about Paramount Pictures' September 5. Written by the team of Alex David, Moritz Binder, and the film's director Tim Fehlbaum, September 5 was released recently in limited release and will be expanding soon. Since its release, which so far is a small number of domestic theaters in New York and LA, the film has made $291,835 thus far, and given it's in limited release, it has not expanded internationally yet, so that number just below 300K makes up its worldwide total. Critically, the film is certified fresh on both sides, with a 90% critical score coming from 92 reviews and an 83% popcorn meter coming from over 50 ratings by audience members. Now, while it did not win last night, September 5 was nominated for one Golden Globe Award. It was nominated for Best Motion Picture Drama. Now, in addition to several nods and wins at various other festivals and Critics Circle Awards, the film is also nominated for two Critics' Choice Awards, Best Original Screenplay and Best Editing for Hans-Jörg Vibreck, and one Independent Spirit Award for Best Editing as well. And I'm going to talk about the editing a little bit later. So, what is this film about? Well, September 5 takes us behind the scenes of the ABC sports crew that, after covering Olympics events, ended up being the sole team to cover the tragic 1972 hostage situation and massacre at the Munich Olympics. In a country that was hoping to make some sort of amends based on the events of World War II, we see the Black September group who takes the Israeli Olympics team hostage. This is one of those films that's a little difficult to talk about without spoilers because of how much of the history is ingrained in our collective consciousness, but I'm going to see what I can do. So on this night, after a long day, the president of ABC Sports, Rune Ulrich, played by Peter Sarsgaard, is off for the night. He wants to sleep and entrusts that his control room will be dutifully run by relative newcomer Jeffrey Mason, played by John Magaro. Marvin Bader, the head of operations, played by Ben Chaplin, and is supervising, takes a nap. It's been a long day of sports coverage, and he, believes that Mason can get through. Of course, before things can really get underway, all of a sudden, we hear something. Is that gunshots? And this is where the things start to get a little challenging. Now, as they are the sports coverage, the main bosses are saying that they need to turn this over to the news department. But Ulrich, who comes right on back, he refuses. He says it doesn't matter that they're sports. They need to cover this. They have the people there. They have the coverage. They can provide the updates. It doesn't matter what other news network wants to do. They need to do this. They send their reporter, the legendary Peter Jennings, played here in the film by Benjamin Walker, to go on site and report what is going on. And as the information is coming in, some of it is a little difficult to understand because the majority of this team is American. However, they get support in the form of newly hired translator Marianne Gebhardt, played by Leonie Benesch, A German woman who goes so far as to head out with the camera crew to see what is going on, can commute back over walkie talkie or payphone so people in the control room can know what is going on. Now, as the events are happening, how much of this can they report on? What can they report on? I mean, they are controlling this story. If they reveal the wrong piece of information, then they are going to be seen as the people who are wrong. If they share something that's not confirmed, what will those ramifications be? And all of this plays out in the tense small control room of the ABC Sports team in Munich. That's where I think I'm going to end the summary. Look, this is an intense film, and what sets it apart from other films that, address certain topics is they avoid the political angle. And this is another in a long line of great films that really looks at journalism ethics and the people who control what we know. In the time of films like recent Best Picture nominees and winners like The Post and Spotlight, Post was nominated, Spotlight won. Director Tim Fehlbaum really crafts a more of a taut thriller that keeps the tensions high, given that this film is chronicling one night, not a whole long investigation or, a multiple day, event. And really, Lorenz Dangle has this intense score that keeps ratcheting up the tension, even though you kind of know where some of it's gonna go. This little score is like a little earworm buzzing in your ear. And the editing, which has received some recognition, this is fascinating because the editing is great and how they incorporate so much of the archival footage seamlessly seamlessly weaved into the story and the film that we're getting here. Cinematographer Marcus Forderer, he makes you feel at times like you're a part of this action. There's moving cameras, running, some still cams, almost as if he's a documentary filmmaker capturing the events. Whether we've got a close up on the people, sweating out the decisions versus running down the corridor to see if we can get a camera on site. Now, as far as the cast goes, I have to say this is a nice ensemble cast. They're all on point. And yet, while it's an ensemble film, very much like Gabriel Labelle in Saturday Night, the SNL film I talked about a couple weeks ago, John Magaro is really front and center. Knowing him, I know him from more a lot of his supporting roles in films, so to see him really at the focal point in the center is nice. He carries the film very, very well. He gets a really nice assist by Benesh, who, last season was a true standout. I loved her performance in the international feature film that was nominated, The Teacher's Lounge. Very strong performances from the two of them. They're the ones that are taking us on this journey. Sarsgaard has an opportunity to make his presence known, even though he's not really as much the focal point, though the poster might suggest something different. And look, while we know the events of the day, this film was really a fresh take because, again, it really wanted to focus more on the journalism angles as opposed to the direct political move, which, in my opinion, was a smart move on the part of the screenmakers. So, does September 5 have any Oscar chances? Well, look, this film, it could creep into the conversation. You don't know. Because, like I said, along the lines of films like The Post and Spotlight, this is Academy fodder. So, is there enough for September 5 to enter the Best Picture conversation? I mean, it hasn't had a huge amount of awards recognition, and it's just come out late, so it might not have had the time to really make its presence known. So, I don't know if there's enough there. I would like to see it entering into the editing and the cinematography category discussions. Again, I don't think it will. Big stack decks this year, but there were some interesting approaches to this that highlight the work that was done. So, I'm gonna call it. Don't think September 5 is gonna be called when we get those nominations in about 10 days. As much as that hurts me because I enjoyed this film, I don't think there's enough to keep it in voters' minds. But I do hope that I am pleasantly mistaken. In all, September 5 is one of my top films of the year, and it is a solid 5-star film for me. It's worthy of the investment. This is a very tense, rapid moving 9,500-minute movie that will keep you engaged. Now, if you would like to see September 5, it is currently playing, as I said, in select theaters in New York and LA, and it expands into wide release next Friday, January 17th. As of right now, there is no information on a digital release date or streaming information. All right, so there we have it. 42 down, 55 to go. We are through Golden Globes week. Tomorrow, we are going to start our 7th theme week. And we're going to be looking at wrapping up as many of the films I can that are nominated for our next upcoming awards, Critics' Choice. As always, if you like what you heard here today, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, spread the word, share it, let people know it out there. You can follow me, Cinephile Mike, on all social media platforms and on Letterboxd. Find a lot of great award season coverage on my website, cinephilemike.com, including shortly later this evening, you're going to be getting my review of the Golden Globe Awards last night. I'm finally releasing my view with my top 10 hits and my 5 swings and misses for 2024. And so much great stuff is still to come. You do not want to miss it. But until next time, this is Cinephile Mike saying take a break and watch something new.